This is what a working IPS modded Game Boy Pocket should look like. See that crisp, clear screen? The beautiful layout, the nice backlight? However, this is the doozy that we got in the mail the other day from one of our followers and one of my customers. So we're going to go ahead and take a look and see what we can do to get this fixed for him today. Shall we? Alright, here we have the two Game Boy Pockets. This is one that we recently did a video on a couple months back where we modified a green Game Boy Pocket with a damaged display. We upgraded the shell and then we added an IPS display. This is what the customer received. As you can see, something terrible happened. I'm not sure if you can really see that, but it looks like it was like curb stomped or something. So this was shipped in a bubble mailer, so not a box, no added extra protection, and it shattered the screen. We see that it ripped the shell here, and I'll show you in just a moment. There's some worse stuff on the inside, and it just really did a number on it. So let's go ahead. I've already taken some of the screws out, so let's go ahead and finish disassembling this really quick. Alright, so here's a look on the inside. Now, if you take a look here, there's where you would screw the board in. So this board is not screwed in. I've already disassembled it to kind of inspect it. So let me go ahead and see if we can't get this a little bit closer to you. So this guy right here, this cap to this fuse right here was torn off, and then let's see here, and if you see this right here, this PCB was lifted all the way up and there was a big old mess. And I'll go ahead and I'll post some pictures that I sent to the individual when we first discovered it, but it's pretty crazy. So let me go ahead and remove the board completely from the front shell. And I want to show you what is the most disappointing thing, because that corner being messed up like that doesn't really affect the functionality of it. And what's sad is, we lose the whole display and everything. So that's very unfortunate, because somebody put work into this, and that time and labor is gone, and now the individual who sent it to me has to wait for a replacement. All right, so let's get back in focus here. So I want to show you the edge of the board. And this is one of the things that bugs me the most. I don't know if you could see it, but there's a curvature to the board. Now the functionality of the board, there's nothing wrong with the functionality at this point. The damage that was done to the corner, I've applied some Gorilla Glue to kind of keep it intact, but there is no conductive material there. And then that cap was simply just a cap. So everything is still functional. It does still play games. So that is all in order. What is unfortunate, though, is this weird bowing in the board. It's really strange. But we're going to get that fixed today. So what I've done is I've gone to Handheld Legends. Be super dope if they'd sponsor some of this stuff, but maybe, hey, in the future. But and I have ordered a replacement LCD display. So we've got the new display here. And I use these in all my Game Boy Pocket mods. Actually, this one is quite a bit different now that I'm seeing it in person, but it should still work. And then here is the Game Boy Pocket shell. Let me grab another Game Boy Pocket shell. Be right. So here we have that original Game Boy Pocket shell that we modified. And I want to show you what they look like on the inside, provided I haven't put screws in it. Cool, I have not. So if we take a look here, you have these ridges here that are designed to hold in the original display. So these ridges, you see here, do not allow the LCD to fit in there properly. So what we've had to do, let me set this aside here. What we have had to do is the individual sent us a replacement shell with the device, and we've had to make some modifications. So you can see here, we've removed all that material from this area so this display can effectively sit in there. Now clearly we've got some additional material that we've got to remove over here, but we will go ahead and do that here momentarily, but it'll allow us to actually get the display in there. All right, may have lost some video there, still working out the kinks with this camera and the capture card. But anyway, here's our craft knife, and then we've got a couple different files here that we can use to clean it up. So the first thing I want to do is I want to look at the fitment here. The fitment looks pretty good left to right, so we just need to remove some more material from around this hole here. So this is what I normally do. We just shave a little bit off. You can always take more off, but you can never add more material. So what we're looking for is that ideal fitment. So it looks like we're going to have to take just a smidge more material off. And take this file, get in there. This is a George files. I'm not going to use plastic, but they get the job done. Okay, so now, got that guy in there. Let's see, get that fold over. Just worry about sticking here. Okay. And we're going to just take file and clean up this other side a little more. Usually this side's not a problem, but you do have to remove a little bit of material from. And I think once we put our double-sided tape down, that's going to fit nicely. Alright, so first things first, let's get this reattached here. And make sure everything's going to be okay in that department. I do have some concerns with the screen lens we have, the dark screen lens. It's interesting. We are getting backlighting. So we may be in worse shape than I anticipated, and that's really disappointing. Because I was really hoping that we could get this fixed as is. Alright, so here is my modified unit. And there aren't any other pins to short out. So I think overall it's not a big deal. You get out of flux to it, so it should be good to go. So what I want to do is make sure that this display that we received works on this known function unit. That's a bit rough because I actually tapped all my stuff down. Hello, recording video, just heads up. I'm recording video, shut up. And I'll just go to my node. And I tap on it up. That connector's off. That connector's on. And as we can see here, we are getting display. So we know that the screen works. Even if the screen is messed up, at least get something on the screen. But the fact that there's no sound tells me that we've got bigger problems. So let me give her a once over. sure there's not some sort of corrosion that's messing with it or something. Could be this power board too, because I mean, I don't know. Let's try to do some sort of repair to the power board. Some real this one. Here we go. Let's see if that was any wrong power. It shouldn't have been any there. Alright, so same results as you can see. We are definitely getting backlight, so that means we're getting power directly from power, but something is not providing video, so we're gonna have to revisit this. I'm gonna have to do some researching and some probing and discuss with the individual who is wanting this fixed to see if they still want to proceed. All right, so I figured out what the problem was. That thing that I thought was a fuse was actually a crystal oscillator, and those are not the same between the different revisions of the Game Boy Pocket. So I did have another Game Boy Pocket on hand, which was a different model, and I tried the oscillator on it, and I was able to get the screen to function on this particular unit. However, it didn't actually play any games, and it wasn't able to load a cartridge up because the oscillators were different polarity and then different, I guess, oscillating measures or something like that. So the only way to fix this would have been to replace the crystal oscillator with a model that was exactly the same, which would have required me to procure another unit that was non-functional and hope that the crystal oscillator was still good. The customer decided that it would be in his best interest to just go ahead and have me send back the modified case so that way he could use it for another model Game Boy Pocket that he has. So in the end, we did determine what was wrong with the unit, and unfortunately we weren't able to actually do a full repair on it. So, alright, well, I guess stay tuned for part 2 or something, because this was totally a flop. Alright guys, thanks for watching.